Hello, everybody. Welcome to yet another special edition of Occupy Pro Wrestling Live. Folks, we are here at the end of 2 nights of WrestleMania, and we're here to give our thoughts on what we enjoyed about it. Yeah, oh gosh, that was a lot of wrestling.
Right?
So, I am your host, Alex Smiley. Find me at Alex Smiley Plays on the Twitch. I am joined, as always, by my pals and comrades as we talk about Wrestle, and especially about talking about WrestleMania. First up, Chris, aka T-Bone, is live on the Twitch. How are you doing tonight, Chris? Have you had enough wrestling for 1 week?
I mean, we still have 2 more days of it. Really, 3 more days of it. The next off day is
Gosh.
Thursday.
You are not
Just think about it
wrong.
this way: we're halfway
No,
through.
we are up till Thursday.
We're about halfway
And
through
if you
this
count
marathon.
Impact, no, never mind. No one counts.
Nobody
Impact.
counts Impact. That ship sailed. Okay. I'm also joined at this time by my pal James, aka JJ Titan Dog 70 on the Twitch. James, how are you doing tonight? Have you had enough wrestling this week? Before we
No,
get to
you
the
know
last few
me.
days.
I'm pretty much I pretty much will keep going wrestling all the time. The marathon, baby. I'm on. I'm watching wrestling. I'm watching wrestling right now on the off time.
Oh gosh.
So I have not had enough of my fill of wrestling yet, but I'm ready to go.
Excellent. So, uh, let's have a chat about WrestleMania. Now we were discussing this because I've seen a lot of other people do, night one reactions, do night two reactions. They're probably doing right now, but to borrow a line from Nia Jax's theme, we are not like most podcasts. So we're having
I mean, we usually are. But
what we okay
yeah.
that did, but the important thing is that we're taking things just a little bit differently because there was a lot of wrestling just from WrestleMania itself. And
Great.
we hit some peaks and we hit some valleys, to put it lightly. And I think we've agreed to mostly focus on what we enjoyed from it because there's so much to talk about. I really don't want to be here for 2 hours just to talk about everything that happened.
No, we're gonna focus on what we like. What we don't like is apparent. I'm sure if you go to Twitter, you'll see what everyone doesn't like. So,
Yeah, like
but
yeah.
here's what I want to do first.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's time, as a spokesperson for the OPW Live show and the OPW Live brand, it is time that our show officially acknowledges Roman Reigns as the tribal chief. So, Roman, to you.
Yep. See, I I tried to say it well, I tried to say it when we did our predictions. Nobody's gonna disrespect the head of the table, and here
That's an
we are.
official OPO Live acknowledgement now.
Yeah,
So, it's written. Can't take it back.
yeah. We just want some of the scraps at the table. That's all we're asking.
I was going to chug the rest of this, but it just didn't work out so well. It's like really weird with the bottle.
So, yep.
To you, Roman. I acknowledge thee. I mean, that main event was pretty awesome. Like,
Honestly, yeah.
um, here's the thing. I was like, when Roman Reigns pinned both Daniel Bryan and Edge, I'm like, wow, that's a statement. There's no ambiguity there. He pinned them both. We're done with this. Like, that was just WWE, you know, just closing the lid on it. And yeah, I mean, it was an awesome match. I don't really want to like go blow by blow, but the nice thing, and I said this last night too, in comparing Bobby Lashley and Roman Reigns. I don't remember who I said it to, but the nice thing about Roman Reigns' run so far on SmackDown is that he's only wrestled 3 people. Right? He defended against Jey Uso twice, Kevin Owens 4 times, Daniel Bryan twice, and now Daniel Bryan Edge this time. He has a ton of good matches left on the roster. You saw Cesaro got his win last night. Big E just dropped the Intercontinental title, so he can come up. Shinsuke Nakamura is lurking around as well as like a top babyface. And there's one more person I was thinking of. Oh, of course, Seth Rollins, because history of Shield. Like, Roman Reigns has had the title for
About 9 months.
9 months, and
About
he's
9
had 3
months.
opponents,
Yeah.
so he has a lot of opponents left. Whereas
But
with Bobby Lashley, he's wrestled and beaten literally everyone on Raw already. So it's like,
well, no, he did that as not as a champion though. So
I mean, but yeah, he's done it over the past year, like as a
yeah,
champion, as a non-champion.
but he's not as a champion. So
right. The thing I'm saying is we haven't seen Roman versus Cesaro yet. We haven't seen Roman versus Seth yet. At least these incarnations of them, or Roman versus Shinsuke, or Roman versus Big E. Whereas with Bobby Lashley, we've seen him versus Drew, we've seen him versus Sheamus, we've seen him versus Riddle. We've seen him versus. Actually, we haven't seen him versus Orton, I guess, but Orton's kind of busy, I guess. I don't know.
we'll find out about that. But no, I mean, I said it, and I was saying this earlier before we started. Now is a perfect time if you want to make a star. If they really want to make someone as the main event, Roman's at that point now. Roman's at that point now where he's been a dominant champion for 9 months, and he's almost going to a year. And you have now he's at the throne. Somebody beating him can make him an instant main event player. Easy, simple now. You can put someone in there to challenge him, take him to the limit, or maybe even get a win or two. I mean, not maybe a non-title win, if you want to go that route. We can go that route. But you can make an instant main event player now because he's fever pitch. He's at that point. And the same thing with Raw. Remember, we're still holding out. We can see the return of Keith Lee.
Hopefully, once he gets his issues together, health issues.
The Keith Lee thing. Keith Lee, he hasn't done anything. We can roll him in there. He can roll him in. He can challenge Lashley. I can understand with the Drew thing. The Drew thing, you could have Drew chase Lashley for a little bit now.
Well, I think that's where they're going. What I was trying to make the point is like,
but there's, like you
potential
said,
matches we haven't had yet.
There is some openings now on Raw too. Depends on who they want to go with. That can go with Lashley and everything. There's a couple of guys in the middle. Like I said, Ricochet. I would love to see Ricochet probably push him into a main event, try to have him a program with Lashley.
Nice.
Maybe he doesn't win, but at least be well, show up.
Well, the other thing you can consider here is the draft is coming up now. They'll do a draft in like a month from now, right before Backlash, like they did last year probably. So there will be some opportunities for new matchups.
Heck, bring Keith Lee over to SmackDown, have him challenge Roman Reigns to the head of the table.
I don't think Keith Lee has as much stock as you do, because the way they've used him so far. He can, but he's not there at the moment.
Well, like I said, you can do that with the draft if you want to do that.
I mean, he'd be great for Apollo Crews now that Apollo Crews is Intercontinental Champion, Or actually, he'd be great for Sheamus because Sheamus is the U.S. champion. Maybe that was the point of putting the title on Sheamus.
Maybe that is too. Okay, but yeah, so I see what you're saying there and everything, and I'll.
What I'm saying is like potential matchups. Like WrestleMania is done, and in a lot of ways, the WrestleMania is a season finale. Sometimes they carry over stuff from WrestleMania, but a lot of the times they like to try to, especially with the title picture, like usually this is the time of year where someone who's never had a shot before usually gets a shot.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. So like Roman, and like I said, that was probably the best. That main event was probably the best story they did for the last few months. And like it's decisive now. It's over. I don't know where they're going to go over here. Maybe Edge is pissed off. He might try again at Roman. Daniel's part is done. His part of the story is over. Edge probably still has. Hey, you know what? Because of Daniel Bryan, I had you beat. It was Daniel Bryan's fault. I just want you and me now, 1-on-1.
I feel like he's going to blame Daniel Bryan, go after him. Actually, I feel like Edge is actually going to go after Daniel Bryan and try. Or
you can run.
That's where I think they're going.
But bitter Edge at Daniel Bryan and keep them apart.
I love bitter Edge. Oh man,
it's bitter Edge. He's pissed. Daniel Bryan cost him I won. They was like, I beat him, and you pulled the ref out. All because if it wasn't for you, I'll be champion right now.
Yeah.
And then he's bitter, and he's trying to kill the man. He'll try to kill the man now.
Alex.
Yeah, honestly, the main event was spectacular as far as I'm concerned because, like, everything. Okay, there were a number of things I loved about it. One, I was on the lookout for the actual reaction to Roman Reigns because the big thing about Roman Reigns' heel turn and everything that's happened since is that none of it has happened in front of that big of a crowd, like that big of a live crowd. So I was very curious to see where we were actually going to go with that. And I feel like
cheered.
we got about the reaction I was expecting.
We were arguing about this on
He
Twitter.
got a pretty good mixed reaction. You had the people booing him because of the stuff that he's done as the heel that he is, but you also have people cheering out of respect for him, and it's an interesting mix just because when they were trying to push him as this big baby face and the fans weren't.
Let's go, Roman. Roman sucks.
Right, yeah, exactly. We're eventually going to get to that territory.
As I wear my John Cena shirt here.
But so from that point on, like the match itself was spectacular. I enjoyed seeing Ed just basically losing it, trying to be like, look, I won my opportunity here. I'm gonna do everything I can to make the best of the situation. Freaking going, hitting concertos on both guys basically, and just completely, just the whole, like I said, everything about that. There was a good story being told throughout, and I do think that as far as where we go from here, I think the big thing is like it could like I do agree with you guys. I think Daniel Bryan's done as far as that title scene goes for now. Like at least as far as Roman goes. I think we might see like I am a little bit more in the camp that Edge might actually go for his one-on-one opportunity against Roman, but who knows? As far as establishing contenders, like you brought up, Chris, there is the draft that's impending, and we could see a bit of a shakeup because you know how they love to do their shakeups.
Sad thing, the sad thing is I don't want them to shake up SmackDown. Like SmackDown is just great the way it is right now. Like if you want to move Seth Rollins to Raw, sure, but other than that, like
no, it did get the desired reaction though. Was when Roman run, people were not happy. They did get a desired reaction of a lot more boos at the end.
Oh yeah,
the boos came during the match. Like
they're like, well,
the cheers were louder.
We want Edge to win this. Most people wanted Edge to win.
Or Daniel Bryan.
Right, they wanted either of them to win.
Or Daniel Bryan. So they got what they wanted. He's dominant. The people are booing him because they don't like what he's done, and he's earned the boos. It's not like unearned. He's earned because he's a heel.
Right. That's
why it works now because he's a heel. He's doing heelish things, and people are booing him because he's doing bad things, not because they don't want him shoved down their throats.
Yeah.
So that works there.
I know it's a wonderful difference from 2 years
He
ago, 3 years ago.
Yeah, getting booed because he basically gave the Undertaker one of his last proper.
Let's put this into perspective. Like this is the first main event that we wanted Roman Reigns in.
Yes.
Right? He's been in so many WrestleMania main events. This is the first one we wanted him in.
Yes.
He's
absolutely.
Yeah. I mean, really, he's been main eventing for like 5 years now, 4 years? How many main events has he done?
Everyone but last year, basically.
Everyone but last year. That's almost 5 years main events, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And this was
4 out of 5 years, I guess.
4 out of 6 years. I mean, 5 out of 6 years. I think, almost.
Something like that. I don't know, but either way,
exactly.
He's been in a lot of main events, or at least in the title scene during WrestleMania. Whether he was the last match or not.
Yeah, but he's been in big matches.
This is the first one we wanted him in.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, overall, I will say this: as you say, it was a great match. It was a well done triple threat. And it was evenly done with why people take it out. Yeah, Uso back there, he's stocking people out. To one person like that, take him out. We forgot about him. That's why I know it's a good main event. I forgot about Uso too until the last point.
Yeah, I did not expect him to come back. I thought, okay, he's gone. Great.
I thought he was gone.
We DDT'd him on a steel step. He's gone.
I did make a little bit of a joke to somebody about it as he was being carried out, kind of. That they're doing an unintentional callback to Roman Reigns being helped to the back at that one Royal Rumble, when he was gone for that long.
Yeah.
But
it was the Brock Lesnar.
Right. Yeah.
Lesnar got taken out. And
Orton just did
even Orton this past one. But yeah, it's just that point of he was gone just long enough
at least
where you thought he wasn't going to come back, and he came back.
He did
call back
to
Cody Rhodes in the ladder match.
Help, not with an actual participant.
Right. So So everything about that main event was.
I mean, I made this comment a little earlier. This is the one. I think probably the rare match where I was like, man, I want everyone to win.
Right.
Because I don't think there was a bad outcome.
I don't think there was going to be. I don't think whoever won this, the crowd would have been upset with. Really.
No, right.
I'm telling you.
Right.
I don't. It's one of those.
There was no bad outcome. Like if
and that
DB wins,
happens
great.
when
We
you
get
have
that
a story.
WrestleMania,
That happens.
Yes-a-Mania moment.
Yeah, exactly.
That
Edge
happens when you
wins,
tell a great
10 years
story.
of his retirement.
When you tell a great story,
Yeah.
like they did, it comes out looking good. I mean, they came out looking good. I can't be mad at the main event. Honest with you, I
Right.
really can't. Really can't. All right.
Probably,
so
I don't know,
transition. Let's
feud of
get
the
to
year.
what we thought about
Decade.
night one. Impressive. Well, I'll start then if you want to.
Well, just pick your favorite moment from any night.
Yeah,
It doesn't really
go
matter
ahead.
what night we start on.
Look,
Well, not
well,
the main
listen,
event.
I
Not
like-
the main event
okay,
now. We just talked
I
about it.
like from what I like from night one. First of all, I did like the redub, let's just say the remix of the opening from last year's
Oh yeah,
package.
yeah.
I liked that. I liked it both nights. I liked it with the guy coming in, talking with the announcer, taking over.
Yeah, that was pretty.
And
That was
I
pretty
like
funny.
that. I thought it was real well done. The history of history, the epicness.
God, it was so stupid.
I liked it.
It was dumb in a good. It was dumb in a fun way, to me at least.
It was done in a fun way. I thought it was done in a fun way. So, but overall, like I said, it's the surprising of the Bianca Belair match. I thought that was a great match. I love.
Yes.
I know, Chris, we were talking about before. I love that Bianca was so overwhelmed at the start of it, and you could see her about to cry.
I think that's still my match of the show.
Honestly, yeah.
Honestly, I think I kind of agree with you. It felt real, those raw emotions, because it's what you do as a wrestler. It's what you want to do when you become a wrestler. You want to be the main event at the biggest show of the year. And I know that people always say WrestleMania is probably the biggest show of the year with the biggest company in the world. And you're main eventing. It might be night one, but you're still main eventing. That's real.
It's real. It was a very rare moment where we could say history was made because we had two both black athletes in the main event, and both of them also women. It was actually a nice thing for WWE in terms of like black athletes because Bobby Lashley's also champion and Apollo Crews is also champion now. So this is like the most black athletes have ever won at WrestleMania, have ever been featured at WrestleMania. We have 5 of the top athletes in the world who happen to be black, which I think, not to hit the nail on the head with this. But you also had, it's something I think about in terms of like the next generation of fans.
There you go.
And
plus you also had
surely
you also had Nia Jax,
giving different looking champions, which means for younger fans, like, oh, there's people in the WWE who look like me, whether they are a Bobby Lashley or a Drew McIntyre or a Sheamus, who's he looks different from everyone else too, right?
He's Irish.
Or even down with Asuka, who's
clear,
dominant for so long.
Clear. The man is clear. But no, I agree with what you're saying. And we have Asuka. Asuka was Asian champion. She was there for a long time at the time. So, and like I said, so it was a historical moment, and it was a good match. I mean, it was a good match.
Priest and Bad Bunny are both featured.
Bad Bunny. That's another thing I like. Thank you for taking that. I liked his match. You can see he put in the work.
We'll kind of circle back to that, but I was just like, there was an opportunity here. I think WWE has done what they haven't done ever in the past, which is feature more, people who come from minority backgrounds in WrestleMania more than ever before.
More diversity in the top spots, more diversity featured and everything. And it was done organically. It's not like, it just happened. It looked like it was organically done because these are the best athletes.
These are the best right now. Nia Jax, Tamina too.
Yeah, I told you, Nia Jax, Tamina.
But yeah, I mean, for like me, like Damian Priest looks a lot like me. As I am a tiny bit Hispanic, right? So it's different, right? Because he's kind of got I think a similar background in his family as I do in mine.
Yeah.
So like that's really cool, and I think it's cool for a lot of fans, and also going back to Sasha and Bianca, I think that was the best match of the card.
I might agree with you on that. I think I agree with you on that. That's probably was the best match.
Watching Bianca Belair tear up, like the entire match made me tear up the entire match. I kind of react to that viscerally as a fan, like when they like really like into it. We saw a little bit out of Rhea Ripley tonight as well. We also saw it out of Big E.
Yeah.
His emotion of coming out to his entrance, like that gave me goosebumps. His
Yeah.
entrance while he's singing it, but Big E was like, you can see his eyes welling up. You know, yeah, it's his hometown. He's the champ. He's getting. This is, I think, his first singles match at WrestleMania.
Yep. Yeah. First, because
certainly the first time he's been featured as a solo performer. You know, with his own entrance and stuff. So yeah, there's a lot of like a really good emotion. Even like Sami Zayn and the emotion that he gave off in his match, even though it was a wild ride. He has maniacal laughter going on during the match when he's like winning.
Well, I mean, him and KO have done this for a long time. That was just like walking apart. They could have done that blindfolded. Trust me. It wasn't even as intense as El Generico and
hell, even Bobby Lashley. Like, there was emotion when he won the match.
Good.
He was like,
they could have done it blindfold.
Like he got his moment.
Yeah.
Bobby Lashley's been working for 16 years. He got his moment. So.
Yeah, so
better than the Battle of the Billionaires, that's for sure.
Probably.
Let's
not talk about that here. We'll not talk. That should not be named. That doesn't exist anymore. Or
I mean, at least they erased that from his mouth. Now he's like, well, that's not my best moment anymore. Now it's his
his WrestleMania moment is now putting Drew to sleep to retain the WWE Championship at WrestleMania.
Oh God, Drew went to sleep, just cold.
Well, I mean, hey, he came out. He lost, but hey, he came out looking strong. Absolutely. He didn't tap out. It's just that he passed out.
Yeah.
Take that. But like I said, so night one, I like I said, Bad Bunny, probably the best celebrity performance in WrestleMania. All the celebrities that had a WrestleMania match and everything, that's probably the best performance.
I would.
It definitely outstretches Snooki.
Yeah, hey, I just want to point something out because I real quick, just to jump in, I do want to co-sign that as well. That was actually going to be the first thing I was going to mention. Is I absolutely loved the match, and I loved how much work Bad Bunny put into that match, and I loved the Bunny Destroyer, and I loved the fact that you had
Well, that works.
Okay.
Because he has
Buddy Destroyer.
There are two. There are two things that came out of that match. One, they did one of their backstage exclusive things for the website or whatever. Miz and Morrison gave Bad Bunny respect after that match. They said especially Miz in particular. He said he earned that Bad Bunny earned the Miz's respect, and I was surprised by that. I was like, okay.
Well,
I mean, they subverted it right then and there because John Moore's like, but he was really lucky. Yeah, it was all luck.
Yeah. But the other thing that kind of took me by surprise coming off the back of that, well, maybe I guess it's not that surprising, but at the moment it was. You had two people refer to him in a certain, you had two different people refer to him in a certain way. Apparently, so one was Randy Orton in an interview. I don't remember. I think it was on the Bump. He said that coming off the back of that match, that I think he referred to Bad Bunny as a fellow WWE superstar. So there's something to be said about that. And then Booker T also said that during the kickoff show, and I was a little surprised to hear that, but I'm like, oh, you know what? That's fine. And it also makes it funny when they did the video package to announce Bad Bunny's tour. That's next year. The way they were propping that, I was like, oh my gosh, they're doing a video package to give him a contract, but no, it was for his tour.
Video package.
Yeah, but Triple H also called him a wrestler.
Yeah, exactly. It was like, okay.
Does he have a car or something?
He's made it as far as being a part of the group, so to speak. So that
Now we got to look out for every time there's an arena big enough for a tractor trailer.
Yeah. No, from what it tells me is Bad Bunny has earned the spot. It looks like Absolutely. They say, hey, you know what? If you want to go full time, you got a contract. We got you signed. You're cool.
And honestly,
I think that's what basically saying to him. And from what I understand, like I said, as we were saying, Chris, you've been saying this since you first saw him. He's been putting in the work at the PC Center. He's been there all the time, and you could tell that he spent the last however long he's been in the E working on his stuff because. Probably, like I said, it looked very good for his first match. He looked great.
Yeah.
I didn't really see any hitches. I mean, they're doing basic stuff, but hey, you know what? You're on WrestleMania in your first match.
Yeah.
That's hard.
Yeah.
Only a few people can do that. I know Ronda Rousey did a few years ago. She looked great.
Yeah.
Like that. That helps. And plus, it also helps he has Miz and Morrison. Morrison is probably one of the best, utility guys out there. That man can make almost anybody look good. Like that. So, and he made that Bunny Destroyer look great. That's all Morrison right there. 90% Morrison, 10%.
Oh, yeah.
All you got to do is Morrison's going to make it look good. But yeah, so good job with that one. That was fantastic. It was a good match. It was a much better match than expected, and I love that. I thought it was well done. Everything was good that first night except for the tag team turmoil, only because we're not getting negative. We're not getting negative.
That's okay. I mean, it was.
I actually thought that was a pretty good match.
Yeah, the match
It was a
itself
good,
was good.
it was a good match. The problem I had with that was there was no build to it.
Yeah, but I mean, yeah.
If you're gonna do Tamina and Natty, you could have built them up. You've been building them up for the
All
whole.
right, well, we're not going negative, so
Yeah, we're not going negative.
It was a good match.
Yeah, so night one, fantastic. I thought night one was fantastic show. We ended great. Night two, I'm down. You know me. I love supernatural stuff. The Fiend stuff was great. I thought it was old Fiend. Then they nerfed him. There's like they put a nerf on. Now.
Yeah, I mean,
Alexa's
honestly,
nerf
that's fine with me. Like if people can legitimately wrestle him, because they put him. They did this thing where you couldn't wrestle the Fiend.
They were doing
and now,
that. That's what they were
if you can
before.
wrestle the Fiend, but it's really hard, that I think is better than you can't really wrestle the Fiend. It takes you need to use a sledgehammer to beat
match
it.
was. Looks like they were doing that. The red light. It was all red light again. So he's basically pre-nerf Fiend. He's all red light. Every move he's taking, every heavy move he's taking, he's getting up. He's like Undertaker and Kane mixed together. Every move he's taking, he's getting up.
But I mean, he at least sells a little bit now.
Oh yeah, but no,
I'm talking about RKO to beat him.
Yeah.
I'm talking about tonight. Tonight he went back to old red light, almost unstoppable.
Which honestly,
every move he's taking, he's getting up almost.
Yeah, and there was a lot of good that came out of that, in my opinion.
And then it looks like they've put Alexa now is possessed. And she's nerfing him. If she shows up, it kind of weakens it. Because once that happened, out like that, and she's looking at, she's bleeding.
Yeah,
you gotta remember, Randy Orton has been calling.
I think they're setting up as there's a cost to him coming back now.
Maybe.
Well, you have to remember, Randy Orton has been calling Alexa Bliss the Fiend's weakness. They've been telegraphing.
It's just been manifested now.
So
it's just been.
I will say is one negative thing because of that match. I changed my shirt from my Fiend shirt to my. I was like, I couldn't. No.
It's kind of like they put a nerf on. Which if this is done,
I had to nerf my shirt.
We'll have to watch Raw now and find out. Exactly.
The one thing I do want to say, one thing I want to say about that match, I think the finish notwithstanding, that was a pretty solid. That was a solid match, and I'm actually really glad that they pulled off the match that they did, because I think we even discussed this in the build to it. I was not feeling the fact that we were getting a regular match just because it was in front of a crowd. I get that, but in my head I'm like, last year we literally had, we had a breakdown of a character study instead of an actual match, and the fact that this feud is ending in a match is weird to me. But they made it work.
It may not.
I don't think it's over
because they can still do the Firefly Funhouse match. There's going to be no more shows in front of crowds for a while. They're not doing They're doing Backlash in the Thunderdome.
Right. I think that was my
Wait, where's the Thunderdome going now?
They're doing Thunderdome in that stadium, I think.
No. It's going to one of the college sports.
That's too big. Raymond James Stadium is too big to do Thunderdome.
No, they put the Thunderdome in the University of South Florida's college basketball stadium.
I remember that now. Yeah.
Okay, that works. Because there's no college basketball now.
Yeah, because college basketball's over, so they're going to occupy a basketball
at least 6 months. So yeah, they could do it. It would work there. It's still.
And they'll do that until. And
honestly, I just realized the mistake that I made in saying that. That's basically an outdoor stadium. I forgot because that was the whole thing, especially from last night where they had to deal with the weather. So they couldn't put all those TV screens in there.
Yeah, Mother Nature told Vince.
No, they're doing it inside of basketball.
Yeah, I do remember that now that you mention it. And just to be clear, tomorrow night, Raw and SmackDown this week, they're both from the new Thunderdome location, right? They're not trying to do.
It might be a former. They're not.
The one we just described. My
Well, yeah,
point is,
they've been
Yeah, they're
working on
not
it.
doing it in Raymond James.
Yeah,
right?
they're working on it.
They're not gonna
during that
do
week
Raw
off,
and
so
SmackDown in front of crowds. No.
fixing on. Yeah, they can go
No,
right.
they're doing the new Thunderdome premieres tomorrow night.
Yeah.
Right. Okay.
But
But yeah, I mean, I guess that because again, that was like the closest thing to a gripe I had about it was the fact that that's what we like. That finish was kind of weird, but I mean, it does still work within the context of
it does still work. I mean,
things.
I was hoping we get an explanation on Raw. Give us
Yeah,
an explanation on Raw.
I mean, we can definitely hope for that.
We had Omos look great.
Yeah.
Looked like he should look like he's a 7-foot monster.
Yeah.
That's how
God,
you're
I love
supposed to book him.
Omos.
Absolutely.
That match was a great story because they really told like it's kind of like gets lost in tag team wrestling sometimes, but they really told the story of cutting the ring in half.
Yeah, of course you have
Absolutely.
to. You get this
Right,
guy
but I
here-
mean it's what. But I'm saying they really told it. Like tag matches now are kind of like back and forth. This tag match was we have to keep Omos out of the ring at all costs, right?
Yeah.
That was
Because AJ and Omos only made one tag the entire match. That was AJ to Omos, and that was it.
Yeah.
Like you don't see
The
tag matches
absolute
like
definition of
No, that's
a hot
throwback to
tag.
old school tag matches.
that. The
That's a
absolute
throwback to old school
hottest
tag match.
tag in the.
You don't
in the
see
history
that
of
now
the
because
WWE.
you got the Young Buck effect, where it's all spot.
Stop! It's not them.
Hmm?
It's tag team wrestling in general.
Yeah, no, it's just this. It's just this.
Not before.
It's just
Not
this.
before Long Pablo used to be. It didn't used to be like
The
that.
Young Bucks
It used to be
were
about
nothing until they were on national TV.
isolate
They
the
did not have
member.
any influence
Okay,
on wrestling.
so-
Hurt him, isolate him, make sure he doesn't get the
Right.
tag, so you can wear him down.
Right.
pin him.
Exactly. That's the main
That's
point.
what
Is
tag
that
team used to be about.
yeah. I do want to bring up from. Let me see if I can find this again. While we're on the topic of good matches from night one, I do want to talk a little bit about Rollins versus Cesaro. Definitely a good solid match there. Like
Well,
No,
I
it
knew
wasn't a
that
good
was
match
gonna
because
happen.
Cesaro did not do the swing 37 times like
he did it
promised.
23 times. He broke
He only
his
did
record.
23.
That's what he did.
23, he broke his record.
Right, but he promised me 37. I was very disappointed.
Well, if you add the UFO too, add the UFO.
Oh, which reminds me, there was a thing. Okay, so there's a thing on there where apparently, like, he had told somebody at an indie show years and years ago that, like, he did it once, but he didn't really do, or he did it at a show, but he was kind of saving it for something else. And the guy had asked him, or no, the guy asked him why he had never seen a move like the UFO before he had done that there. And apparently, Cesaro had told him, like, I'm trying to save it because I'm trying to save it for when I get to do it at WrestleMania. And so there's a nice little nostalgia, like, feel good moment in that.
God, the neck muscles on him though. Like to
For
do,
real.
he just like puts his hand down like.
Yeah, I've seen him do it. Yeah, before he used to do it on the indie. Yeah, he's done it like that too with no hands. He no hands.
He spun Seth Rollins around like a dang record or like a dang top is what he did.
Yeah.
Between the
I don't know,
swing
Seth
and the
Rollins is not
UFO.
throwing up.
I mean, I always Cesaro always put on great matches. I remember seeing him have matches with Sami Zayn in NXT, and those were bangers.
Yeah,
like
absolutely.
And it's sad now they finally able to acknowledge his first singles match at WrestleMania. What? Since he got into
pretty much, yeah.
The sad thing is he's in his 40s now, so like they wasted all the time they could have had him as like.
But it was him and Seth Rollins. I already knew it was going to be a great match. You knew that was going to be a great match, and it was.
It very nearly stole the show for me, but then and Sasha happened.
Yep.
It's right up there. It was fantastic match, and it got the reaction they wanted. So yeah, that was great too. So night one was fantastic. Night two did not go the way I was expecting. I like night two because it didn't go the way I predicted.
Yes.
There are some things that was surprisingly about night two that I did not predict. I knew that.
You want to talk about predictions then, real quick? Since that's kind of a point of order here.
Well, Alex lost.
Yeah,
that's all you need to know.
Okay.
Well, no, let's talk
So,
about that real quick.
actually, if it's okay, I do have one more big positive, kind of overarching across the two nights.
Yeah.
This is kind of a transition to our predictions things. You'll see why. I think, I would say that at least I would say pretty much the majority of the finishes and winners are like correct, if that makes sense. Like I thought they did a good job overall with, like, there were a couple, like, I feel like I gotta address it. I'm like, this is partly on what they did on SmackDown too. Like, I don't know if Ziggler and Rude still needed to retain, but whatever. For Mania itself, yeah, for Mania itself, most of the winners were, in my opinion, at least the correct ones. Even if I didn't win the predictions challenge as a result of that.
I mean, a lot of times we were predicting cynically too.
Yes.
Like, like for me with the tag team turmoil match, I'm like, well, because they've been giving Natalya and Tamina so much wins on SmackDown, there's no way they're winning the gauntlet match.
And they did.
Right? That was cynical of me, and then they did. Or because Apollo Crews has been losing constantly, well, they're just not going to give it to him.
That one hurts you because I
but I mean,
I told you,
I'm just we're talking about predictions. Like a lot of our predictions, I think, where we predicted the wrong result were cynical. Yeah. Like I think the only true shock was Randy Orton and Fiend. I didn't think none of us picked Randy Orton.
We all thought it was another. We all thought it was Fiend was going to win this and.
Or just about every other match could have gone either way. Like I think Sheamus was a bit of a surprise as well.
Yeah, Sheamus surprised me. I thought they were going to go. They were still right in the middle.
And it's not like it's a bad surprise because Sheamus is.
Oh right, exactly.
But I mean, where we went wrong on the predictions, and I think overall we did good. I think I was 5 of 7 night one, and then 5 of 7 this night too.
Yeah,
something like that. So like overall. Like we didn't do too bad. It was like cynical picks is where I went wrong, and then you all went wrong.
I mean, I probably shouldn't have expected. I probably should
because the Oscar thing. I should have picked Ripley. My head told me it's Rhea Ripley. My heart said Oscar, so I chose Oscar. That was stupid.
Oh yeah, no, I mean that was the thing. Like that match was so good too that like that could have gone either way. No, I'm just gonna say it right now. I probably should not have thought that they were gonna actually reunite the Iconics. I'm just gonna say that right now. That was a left field thing. That was purely fantasy booking.
He said that too. We laughed because he knew.
The only thing I was missing was like Bayley and Peyton Royce tagging, and then it's like, well, why didn't we have Peyton Royce and Billy? But that's okay.
But yeah.
I mean, they used Bayley in other ways. It wasn't really happy with how Bayley was used, but at least Bayley was on TV.
Fine. It just,
Bayley was on TV more than anyone else on the roster. So.
Yeah.
That mistake was, I like the Bellas, but they misjudged the Bellas' popularity. They should have been someone else.
Yeah.
It should have been like Nikki Cross or somebody else.
Molly Holly.
I mean, I have no problem with the Bellas, but I know what they were trying to do there. Bayley's being the obnoxious character, playing that perfectly.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
She's being heel. She's being a heel character. It's perfect. But they had the wrong people come out to give her comeuppance. Say you did that with Nikki Cross or Peyton Royce or
no.
If you wanted to bring Becky, Becky or something like that.
Bellas are extremely popular.
The Bellas went into the Hall of Fame. It was the real
mainstream.
Thing
mainstream,
the whole
but
deal.
In wrestling circles, and the fans that are there, they're not popular there at the stadium. That's the thing. That's the issue.
I don't think you got the right read there.
I don't know. Okay.
Their merch sales are still top. Like they're still like top 25 on merch sales.
Not at this moment. Not at that time.
Yeah, they are. People are still buying their stuff.
Oh yeah, okay. I mean, I'm talking about that. I'm not talking about. Did you just you hear the boo when they came out because they knew what was going to happen?
I mean, they're also picking out most of.
They don't want them. The crowd didn't want the Bellas to be the ones to give Bayley her comeuppance.
Okay.
If it had been like say Peyton Royce, if it had been.
I'm not sure about that.
I think it'd be better.
Okay, so.
But anyway.
Could have been Nikki because it could have set up Nikki versus Bayley going into Smackdown or something.
Maybe, but like I said, I don't think you have the wrong read on the Bellas.
Okay.
They're a lot more popular than you give them credit.
I like the Bellas. Right. I'm talking about what I saw tonight. From what I saw tonight.
Anyway.
I mean, they were all. I mean, the arena was all, or the stadium was also very clearly booing Hulk Hogan, but that's a whole.
Yeah.
Itself. Imagine being from Tampa.
Could have just had Titus O'Neil. That would have been fun.
Imagine being from Tampa Bay and being booed by the Tampa crowd.
And Titus is, and this is Titus. They weren't gonna boo Titus. This is Titus' hometown, but they were clearly booing Hogan. So Titus had to try to keep that shit a straight face. You can see Titus.
Hey, this is why he earned. This is why as far as I'm concerned, he earned that Warrior Award this year. But anyways, predictions. So let's touch on how.
Let's address.
Yeah, let's address that. Oh gosh, let's address that.
So to recap, we did predictions for NXT Takeover, the Prelude, both nights of Takeover, SmackDown, and then both nights of WrestleMania. So it was a total of like
got you
30 matches.
I think the Prelude got you the win. Prelude got Chris to win because you swept the Prelude.
Yes.
Anyway, but
Yeah.
anyway, it was a total of like 30 matches, I think,
Yeah.
is what it ended up being. Somewhere around there.
Too many matches. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
Plenty
A
of
lot
matches.
of matches.
Do you want to just give us our scores and then I'll tell you about the
Yeah.
punishment?
So, in third place with 13 points, thankfully got 13 points. That would be me. Lucky number 13. In second place with 14 points is James. And in first place with a decent 16 points, Chris takes freaking Takeover and WrestleMania predictions.
Yeah, I say it was the Prelude. I think the Prelude was the one that.
Well, no, the Prelude we almost
we all
got correct.
No, SmackDown. It was the SmackDown
SmackDown
got you that
because
extra bump.
you got
I got Jey
because
Uso,
you had Jey
but I
Uso.
also got Kevin Owens and Rhea Ripley. So
yeah, there was a few key matches that you got.
Yeah, it was the SmackDown, the Prelude. He swept the Prelude.
We all swept the Prelude.
No, he didn't. I missed the Prelude because I've just known him dog.
Yep.
Well, Alex and I swept the Prelude then.
Alex
the closest I got to
the
even being in contention was after the Prelude.
Yeah, and then you got this Battle Royal right with Jey Uso.
Right.
And those are the two that got you.
Oh yeah,
ahead.
Absolutely. So.
Yeah, those are the two that got you.
All right, Chris. All right, Chris. All right, Chris.
End up tying.
Anyway,
give it to me.
So
what do I got to deal with?
Here is the punishment. This is going to happen for a Thursday show.
Oh, thank goodness.
Punishment is called Dance Break.
Oh, what a lovely thing for my birthday too. Thank you, Chris.
Yes.
Yep.
So what's going to happen is we're going to rig
won.
up the music, and anytime during the show I press a button to play that music, I might even just play it in the microphone, depending on what we need to do. Alex has to stop what he's doing and get up and dance.
Oh, thank goodness I have a slightly bigger living room now that I've moved too. Oh,
I figured if you had more room now, this is perfect. So that's what's going to happen. Plus, you have the wireless headphones. So.
Yes, as long as they hold up between now and then.
We'll rig up some music. I don't know how we'll do it. I might even just play it from my phone into the microphone.
I might play it. I mean,
we'll find a way.
Let me know.
We'll figure it out. But that's what we're going to do throughout the shows. We're just going to interrupt it to make Alex dance, and that's his punishment.
God.
The ultimate punishment, ultimate prediction contest.
We'll test it. We'll test.
Oh
we'll test
God,
the music.
I hate it.
That's what we're doing.
I love it, but I also hate it at the same time.
All right, let's get out of here.
Yeah, let's give our overall thoughts on.
Let's grade this show. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, James, grade it.
Overall, I will say this, honest with you, much better WrestleMania than last year. Well, much better because I'm not in the hospital watching it in a hospital bed, so I'll take that. I give it. You know what? I'll give it an A. I'll give it an A. I will give it an A. I will say it was a great show from both nights. One or two matches were hit and miss, but I can't really complain. You know, that was nitpicky. But overall, great show. More matches. Not a lot of backstage stuff. You know, before we all get this backstage stuff and everything. RVD being late, like RVD on brand. He was late for that segment. he did because Riddle's like looking like.
But I mean. Mania was late night one, but
overall A. Yeah, he was late.
No, I know he was late. Yeah. All right. Yeah, honestly, I'm gonna give it an A as well, and it's funny because it's like I wasn't sure because like I said, like especially night 2, there were some peaks and there were some valleys, but I think the peaks were actually they were so high up that the valleys didn't seem nearly that low. Like I said, like especially from a booking standpoint, there were a couple decisions made that I questioned throughout the two nights, but it's you know, I feel like they were outweighed by like just the sheer like goodness of the night, especially with stuff like Bianca Belair taking her place at the throne as the SmackDown Women's Champion. You know, stuff like that. I just thought that well outweighed some of the lows of the two nights, so it's an A for me.
Okay, I would recommend to our people watching is go on WWE's YouTube channel and watch all their like exclusive after match interviews because they were excellent from night 1. I'm sure the ones from night 2 would be excellent as well. As for me, I am going to split it up a little bit. Night 1 A+, just a perfect show, top to bottom, nothing wrong with it. Night 2. So I'm thinking about this in terms of like what I did for NXT Stand and Deliver, where I gave that an A- overall. I think WrestleMania was better than Stand and Deliver. Although
Yeah.
night 2, if I do that, I'll make that an A-, so it averages out to an A overall, I think.
Yeah.
But night 1, fantastic. It could have stood alone as a pay-per-view, and it would have been the best pay-per-view of all time. So, yeah, great show.
Yeah.
Love that we're giving it all high grades.
Well, yeah. Well, it hit all the right marks this year.
Right.
Normally the E doesn't hit all the right marks. They hit the right marks this year.
I mean, I liked WrestleMania last year. It was fine for what it was. Like, there was nothing wrong with it.
Oh, that was makeshift, man. That was kind of.
I mean, there's nothing wrong with it, and they had unprecedented things to overcome.
Yeah.
I mean, this year, the worst part about WrestleMania this year is me being so nervous for everyone in the stands. Like all those people close proximity. That's about it. Like, and then maybe the Fiend and Randy Orton. But that's about it. Like,
no, but like I said, I thought it was.
And we didn't have the fans chanting "You deserve it." Someone getting concerto, so that's a plus.
The concertos. It was good. Like I said before we go, it was good having the fans back. I liked having the fans back. I thought it made. That's probably one of the reasons why it's so high for us, because we had the fans back. Because we got the emotions and a lot of the stuff of the match, though. I know it wasn't as loud as it could have been. It was at full stadium capacity, but it was great to see the fan after watching all these Capitol Center, Thunderdome, no fans in there. It's good to have the fans back and actually feel the fans' emotions in the fight.
Yeah.
In the matches, and that felt good to watch again, and I liked it. And that's probably another reason why we liked Mania so much this year. Is actually having the fans back.
Yeah, I mean, I think
before we go, night after Raw. Who's prediction? Who's coming back? Raw after Mania.
Charlotte.
I want to hear what you guys think.
Charlotte.
Oh.
I'm trying to think who else from NXT could probably just get called up tomorrow night. Adam.
I think she's going.
Adam Cole.
I think he's going to SmackDown.
Please, not Adam Cole. I'll take Adam Cole to SmackDown. Please, not Raw.
Please, SmackDown, right?
Let him at least go to SmackDown. No, actually, I heard that Triple H is saying that he's not getting called up. That the story with him and Kyle might be.
So it seemed like, based on Triple H's interview, and he could just be blowing smoke because he's the head of NXT, that no one's getting called up.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
But he also could be saying that to say that.
I say we see, like I said, either probably Keith Lee or something Monday night. I say Keith Lee shows back up.
They've been kind of very coy on his health issues, where Charlotte's probably ready to come back.
Yeah, you know what? I got my actual pick now. I'm gonna go with Aleister Black.
That's true. We haven't
seen him in forever, and I think it's
6 months.
Let's the reverse up, because I want to explain what Triple H was saying. He's really talking up NXT like its own brand again. Mm-hmm. So he's was saying no. He wasn't saying no call ups. He was saying that these people that they were asked about getting called up, they have unfinished business in NXT,
and that's fair.
Which may or may not.
Adam
Cole. I mean, he doesn't really, but
that's what
I think he's doing that as
Cole as an example.
No, I mean. They asked him about Adam Cole. They asked him about Io Shirai. They asked him about a couple other people, and he's like, no, I think the people in NXT want to be in NXT. So he's not saying no call-ups. He's doing the whole corporate NXT's its own brand line.
Yeah.
As opposed to NXT as the feeder. I guess he's kind of pushing back against the idea that it's a call-up.
Yeah. No, I see it.
Even though you and I
right, we call it a call-up, but it's kind of like.
He was doing corporate speak. I think he was doing more corporate speak.
Yeah.
There's more unfinished stories. Io could try to get back with Raquel.
No, he didn't go into that much detail. He just
but
that's
what he's implying. That's what he's implying, because he did that example with Cole and O'Reilly. He's like, well, in this part, O'Reilly's proven that he wasn't brought up because of Cole, wasn't brought on. He wasn't a henchman. He's become his own thing. But now Cole has some unfinished business with this and everything like that. So that's what he was implying. So, but I think it's always Raw after WrestleMania is always surprised us. They like to bring people back, for that. I would say Becky, but people are saying, well, Becky hasn't, had time.
I don't think Becky's coming back yet.
She was trolling, so
she might. I mean, she could definitely, but I don't think she is.
I can see Rhea Ripley come out with her music and everything, and then you hear Becky's music, and it's like, uh-oh. But it's probably Charlotte's going to do it. It's probably going to be.
Here's a little 30 seconds. What I would like to see is Becky Lynch come back and then Rhea Ripley just beat her ass and then she doesn't come back for like a couple months and just make Rhea Ripley the heel.
That would work.
Like Becky Lynch comes back, she stands on stage with a microphone, and then Rhea Ripley just clocks her, beats her down. That's the last we see of Becky Lynch.
Throw her off stage and everything.
Yeah. Well, I mean, because then Becky Lynch can come back without coming back, and then that would just give Rhea Ripley mega heel heat, which I think she'd be great as a heel. But that's just 30-second fantasy.
Yeah, that's how you would book it. But it's
yeah,
probably
that's it. I want to go
it's probably going to be Charlotte.
That's not how it's going to be.
Talk
that's
and
how
then Charlotte's music, and then
Vince, I can do the writing. Like.
All right.
Our contacts below.
Alex, take us home.
Yes.
Hold on. I one more thing.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay.
So Thursday, the three of us will talk about, what we want to see in the future for all four.
Oh, absolutely.
So keep an eye on that. That's what we're doing Thursday. All right. Alex.
All right. Gosh, what a good night this was. I'm excited. This was fun, and it was a fun 2 nights of WrestleMania. But now that the time has come for us to bring this special edition to a close. So, until Thursday, until my birthday, when we hang out to chat more wrestling, and as Chris said, as we talk, when we get ready to talk about what the future looks like for all 4 brands, until then, you can check out everything Occupy Pro Wrestling at occupyprowrestling.com. You can check out everything on our socials at Power2 the Smarks, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, etc., YouTube, and Twitch, of course. If it's a social network, you will probably find us there. But until Thursday, I have been Alex at Alex Smiley Plays on the Twitch. Chris has been Chris at T-Bone is Live on the Twitch. James has been James at JJ Titandog 70 on the Twitch. And we'll see you guys on Thursday. And enjoy the rest of your WrestleMania season, everybody. Have a good night.